So yesterday was day 123 of protests in the city of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. The fourth straight month, not a single day has been missed. 123 days in a row of protesting for justice for Andrew Brown Jr. in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. So, here we are, folks. I mean, this is 4 months in. Right now, we're still in a phase of where, there's not that many people coming out. People are living their lives, enjoying their summers. That's fine. Me, personally, I have no friends, so I'm not enjoy the summers. No, I'm going to stay home and play video games all day and then go out to, protest the government for an hour or two or whatever. Right, but anyway, jokes aside, it's been 4 months, folks, and that's an incredible demonstration. 4 months straight, not a single day wasted, not a single day missed of protesting is an incredible feat. And I just want to say, again, I'm super proud of everyone in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, who has been out here, whether or not they've been out here every day, every other day, as often as they could. There are people that have come out here and they are not afraid to put, their faces out there, to have the rest of the community know that they find this unacceptable. A lot of people are very much so wanting to go back to life as normal in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. We have a lot of people that talk to us and say, thank you for coming out here every day. I can't do it every day, but I appreciate you doing it, and, that kind of stuff. And then we also have a lot of people that, will drive by and scream drug dealer out the window as if, okay, are they talking to me? I don't know, what? So I don't really know what that is. But, we live in a city right now where this is a southern city. About 50% of the population is white and 50% is black. And, among the white people, not everyone's a racist, piece of garbage. A lot of them are, but not everyone. And so, it's one of those situations where right now, the city has always been divided, but no one's ever known about Elizabeth City. This is a situation where when Andrew Brown Jr. was shot and killed, Elizabeth City had national media attention for the first time. And although the national media attention has long gone, because we haven't been throwing rocks through windows, we haven't set anything on fire, the national media is gone. So they spent all of 2020 lecturing people, this is how you should protest, this is how you should protest. And as soon as people follow their directions and say, all right, we should protest by walking through the streets or on the sidewalks, okay, the national media is gone. The national media only cares about if they can get a cool headline. They only care if they can get clickbait headlines like, oh, protesters, throw a brick through a window. More news at 11. They don't care that protesters have been going 123 days in a row with not a single thrown rock. That doesn't matter to them. That's irrelevant to them. They will continue to lecture other cities for protesting in other ways about how to and how not to protest, and then ignore places like Elizabeth City, North Carolina. And that's why I have been so adamant about documenting this entire situation, because the national media is gone. The local media is gone. No one is paying attention to what's going on here in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. 123 days. 4 months since Andrew Brown was killed on April 21st, 2021. And again, not a single thrown rock, not a single broken window. And the local police departments are still trying to, enforce bogus charges on protesters. They're still trying to harass protesters because they are very upset at what we've been doing. They have wanted us. They've been trying to bait people in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, into causing violence and to inflicting damage on property so that they can flex their muscles and have a good time like they saw their friends on TV do last year. But they've been unable to do so. People were bussed in the first couple of weeks. Riot cops. They spent $500,000 in a couple weeks on riot cops, grenade launchers with tear gas canisters, dozens of school buses, armored trucks, RVs, for nothing. They wasted all of it. There were people that drove 300 miles away from random counties in North Carolina that were signed up to be a volunteer to go enforce the law in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Why did they drive 300 miles away? Because they wanted to crack some heads. They wanted to beat the shit out of some people. And they couldn't get the opportunity to do so. So all they did was they stood there like dullards, and they said, "Move back," over and over like a bunch of freak shows. And they choreographed it really poorly, right? And so the local police department is very upset that we've been out here for 4 months straight, 123 days, without violating a single law. They are so upset that we haven't violated any laws that they're trying to arrest people, and they have tried to arrest people on the sidewalk, and then said that they're arresting people in the street. And then when they go to the court, the trial, right, when the protesters go to trial, the arresting officers are nowhere to be found. They're on vacation. They're out patrolling the streets for drugs or whatever the hell they think is more important than actually trying to enforce the law the way they saw fit a couple of months ago. Because it's not about whether or not people broke the law. No one broke the law in Elizabeth City, North Carolina when it comes to protesting. Not a single person. There is no such thing as a curfew, folks. I need y'all to understand. So anyone that was arrested during the 3 nights where there was a curfew, that's not the law. Do you see anywhere in the Constitution where it says, like, you have a freedom to assemble anywhere before 8 p.m.? Last time I checked, that's not in the Constitution. You have a freedom to assemble and assemble peacefully at any point that you choose. If you choose to do so at 2 a.m., you choose to do so at 2 a.m. If you choose to do so at 9 a.m., you choose to do so at 9 a.m. If you choose to do so at 8 p.m., you choose to do so at 8 p.m. Right, there is nowhere in the Constitution where there's an asterisk and then it says, unless there's a curfew in place because the mayor is a little chicken shit motherfucker and is afraid of nothing because they don't know how to talk to their community and they're afraid of the people that voted for them. There's no asterisk in the Constitution. It says you have a right and a freedom to peacefully assemble. And yet people were illegally arrested, right? And then, even after the curfew was lifted, they still illegally arrested people. They said that people were impeding traffic, even though they were on video being arrested on the sidewalk, in a crosswalk. Well, there was no traffic because cops were blocking off the roads. So let me get this straight. Cops can sit in the middle of the road and block traffic from coming onto Main Street, for example, right? And then someone walking on the sidewalk on Main Street can get arrested for impeding traffic. Huh? What? How does that make any sense? That doesn't make any sense at all. They have been trying to illegally arrest as many protesters as they can. This is a game to the Elizabeth City Police Department and the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department. This is a game to them. They are flexing their muscles even when there's nothing to flex for. And they look foolish every time. And they know the national media is gone. And they know that no one really cares. And they know that they can just let it all go. Right? But that's why I'm here. I still want to be here to make sure that people know what's going on. The people that don't live in Elizabeth City, North Carolina are aware of what's happening here. Because, again, the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department murdered Andrew Brown Jr. on April 21st, 2021. But the Elizabeth City Police Department and the Elizabeth City City Council and the mayor of Elizabeth City have also been trying to attack protesters the whole first 2 months. And then, last month, they went on a little bit of a victory tour saying that they support the protesters and they're super happy to be here. Huh? 2 months ago, you tried to get me killed. You tried to have someone throw a grenade launcher, like a launched tear gas canister in my face. Now all of a sudden you said you've been supporting us since the beginning? That might work for some people, but it doesn't work for me. And so that's why I've been here every single day documenting this stuff. Because this is how a small town reacts to protests. The small town does not want to burn down anything because they live here. They've lived here their whole lives. They don't want to see anything set on fire. They don't want to see anything get out of control. But the local police departments have been trying to push them in those directions. They've been instigating, agitating, and attacking protesters. Police have injured protesters when they've illegally arrested people, dislocating people's shoulders. That's something that's very often done. They've stuffed people in vans, right? During a pandemic, provided no masks. They've held people on bonds of upwards of $1,000 for no reason. Why? Because they can. The state can do whatever they want. It doesn't matter if it's legal. It doesn't matter if it's illegal. Do you have a lawyer to defend yourself? If the answer is no, then guess what? They can do whatever they want. And this is what small town police departments are made of. Big city police departments are bad, but they kind of wear their badness on their sleeve. A lot of small town police departments love the community relations. They love to say, look, we're members of the community too. Look, you grew up with me. We went to high school together. And then when push comes to shove, They're going to beat the shit out of you and chase you down the street because you disagree with one of their coworkers killing one of your neighbors. The police do not care about you, right? They pulled all of their security detail on protests as the height of death threats and threats of violence against protesters occurred. The Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department pulled their detail and then also charged 12 protesters with nonsense, myself included, right? And then the Elizabeth City Police Department pulled their detail a couple weeks later, didn't give us a reason, said, oh, well, some people are tired. Huh? You're tired? You know who else is tired? I know a lot of people that work multiple jobs because they get paid minimum wage and they need to help feed their families. They're tired. Can they just stop coming into work because they feel like it and get paid vacation? No. But with the cops, they can just stop doing their jobs whenever they want and then get paid vacation time. What is going on here in small town cities? These are how small town police departments operate. They will brutalize, abuse, and assault protesters without any recourse, and nothing will ever happen to them. You can kill someone, shoot them in the back of the head, and show up to work the next day to an applause because they got a raise. The Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department got a raise for killing Andrew Brown Jr. They got more money. When the murderers walked back in from their paid vacation of watching Netflix and playing video games, right, I imagine everyone on the second floor balcony on the lobby, Thank you, Robert Morgan, for killing someone, shooting them in the back of the head. Thank you so much. Now I can buy my kid a new sofa for their bedroom. This is the world that we live in small town cities. And again, I it's been 4 months, so I wanted to give you all a little bit more of an in-depth kind of view of what's happening here. But even though the protest movement is, not as energetic, not as numerous as it was before, there's still a dedicated number of people that are willing to remind people every single day. You don't need thousands of people marching through the streets to remind someone that someone was murdered in our town. You don't need that. All you need is a couple loud people on a megaphone and some good things to say. And so we've been out here and we're going to continue to be out here as long as it takes until people actually listen to us and take us seriously. But that is 4 months in the books, folks. Elizabeth City, North Carolina, day 123 of protests for Andrew Brown Jr.